morning, everyone. Join me in the pledge. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, thank you for this day, and I just pray that you give us the wisdom, the commissioners the wisdom to do the county's business, Lord, and I just pray for all the county employees, safety throughout the day. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Don't forget to turn your mics on.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes as written.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I make a motion, we approve the claims in the amount of $137,269.14.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 We have 3 ads and debates in the amount of a refund of $2,858.94. My motion is to approve change orders 2024-236, 237, 238, 239 in the amount of $2,858.94 refund.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Do we have any changes on the agenda?
I do. Go ahead.
Yes, Commissioner. Jesse Walton will not be here today, so we can take Public Works off of the agenda, which also means we won't need our old business 10 a.m. appointment that's also on the agenda. I would like to please add the appraiser at 9 o'clock at the top of the department heads.
Okay.
Okay.
And I would like to add an executive session for trade secrets with the commissioners, Brian and Randy.
Okay.
Would you like legal in that meeting?
Yes.
Okay. That's the one for trade secrets.
That's correct.
Right, okay.
I would like to add executive session with the commissioners. It had to do with Public Works, but even though Jesse's not here, it's something we need to address. So I don't know how that would. Can legal come in on that?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's do legal then.
So
10 minutes. It was regarding Pub Works, but it needs to be addressed with legal. I don't care which time. We can take the 10 o'clock and just change it.
Sure.
to just take Jesse off of it.
okay.
10 minutes?
Yeah, just take Jesse off and it would just be commissioners and legal.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Pursuant to what?
75,
Oh, sorry.
319. It's good. Job descriptions.
Job descriptions.
Do you have anything, Jason,
I don't.
at all?
I believe so.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Lisa?
Lisa Kelstead, County Appraiser. I just want to present to you a new hire, Ashley Oberdorf. I would like to bring her in as a Class 8A as a Field Appraiser 1. And I guess you know what that rate is, or do I need to tell you?
You can go ahead and state it.
Okay, 17.99905. She, as soon as we can get her in, and you okay her, she'll bring her in.
I'll make that motion that is that what I need to do? Okay, I'll make the motion. We go ahead and hire Ashley, what was the last name?
Oberdorf.
Oberdorf at 8A Field Appraiser 1 at a rate of 17.99905.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you very much.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
Have a good day.
I want to read the sheriff's report.
Yeah.
Sure. Sheriff's report for April 28th. Total prisoners of 50, 10 releases this past week. Total prisoners in of 49. Total farmed out of 1. Total farmed in of 39. 911 calls of 52. Jail contacts 4,054. Total calls for service of 647. Civil service papers served of 11. Bin inspections 6. New cases open 29. Cases closed 11. Vehicle crashes 7. SRO activities 106. Bailiff contacts 109 with 36 calls for service. 0 livestock out.
AMR.
All right, good morning. Don Brooks with AMR for the monthly report, April 1st through the 27th. Blue Mound had 8 calls, 3 transports. Centerville had 3 calls, 1 transport. Lacine, 19 calls, 8 transports. Lane, 2 calls, 1 transport. Lynn Valley, 14 calls, 6 transports. Mound City, 21 calls, 8 transports. Parker, 17 calls, 9 transports. Pleasanton, 29 calls, 13 transports for a total of 114 calls and 49 transports for April so far. Anything else from me?
I don't think I'm.
Where are we at on the,
The agreement.
yes,
So I expect to have an extension agreement, just extending what we're currently doing
okay,
in the next, I would say week, but let's say within the next probably 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
And then I'll send it to Danielle to share for review and
perfect.
we can talk about it then.
Sounds great. Thank you, Don.
Have a good day.
Randy.
Good morning, Commissioners. Randy Hegwald, Linn County Emergency Management and Rural Fire. Weekly call summary, we had 12 calls last week, bring our yearly total up to 254. That is all I have other than the executive session, unless you have questions.
I'll make a motion. We go into executive session with the 3 commissioners, Jacqueline, Danielle, Randy, and Brian. 10 minutes for trade secrets.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We'll turn at 9:18. Was no action. Let's see. Chastity?
Morning. I am representing Jesse today, so I have a couple things. I'm going to start with his things first because there's just a couple of them. So the first thing I have is the road foreman has approved these two construction permits, BP 2025-02 and 2025-03. So if you could just take a look at them, approve them, and we can move forward with those.
Page,
Water line.
water line. What's that one, Ally?
Electric. Two different addresses.
One in Parker, one in Lamb Road and Laceland.
So do you need a copy, please?
Yeah, it'll probably come from Joyce. I'm just the messenger
talk about
today.
Executive session, or are we good to go?
I'll work good with it. I mean, as far as usually if it's just crossing the road and they've looked at it. And approved it,
Correct.
everything's good.
Yep.
I'll make a motion that we approve burial permits 2025-02. What's that one for? That one's for 132 West Main Street in Parker for an electrical service. And 2025-03 for 20339 Lamb Road, Lacine, Kansas for a water service.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 The next thing I have is regarding the fuel bid that I believe has already been taken care of. They received the contract here, and I just need it approved for Jesse as well, so we can move forward with that.
It was MFA.
Yes,
That was the only bid we received.
someone was received and the dyed diesel was $2.73. The clear was $2.72. And unlead was $2.62. We need to make a motion for this. Do we accept this bid?
I would say so. Did
From-
we already make that motion?
I've already seen that.
You did. I think this was just their contract part of this. From what I understand, you've already
So,
seen this.
so do we need a motion to allow the chair to sign the contract?
I think we do because we just looked at it last week.
So do you have the contract?
From what I'm understanding, you're just signing that document.
That we're going with that price.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we go with MFA oil, as stated in the bid that was received on April 1st, 2025. Contract would be for dyed diesel at 2.7321, clear diesel at 2.7292, and unleaded at 2.6207. That's my motion.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. And the other thing I have for you is this is a landfill tear down building bids that came in from KDHE, I believe. Or not from KDHE, from anybody else.
Okay, wait.
Oh, that's for the building removal for
Correct.
old attorney's office.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yep, I'm talking about two different things here. I apologize. Yes.
This one's from JRK Portable Welding for the tear down and haul off of the county attorney's building at 326 Chestnut, Mound City, Kansas. Total of $19,500.
My bid's from Marbury Excavation and Hauling. It's building removal. Linn County to provide material to fill foundation void. Marbury to load and haul. Marbury will provide topsoil for final grade. $12,650. Seeding not included.
This one has the dirt and stuff in it as well. 19,500.
Just have to have them look over and make sure
Yep.
that
Qualified.
qualify them, make sure that they're both
The same.
the same bid for the work.
Okay.
What is this?
Okay, that'll be from me here in just a second. All right, so I'm going to start with the ARPA funds. Each week I send to you, just an update of where the funds are at. The amount that was delegated for the roll-off trucks. So I know there was a question a few weeks ago in regards to the figures weren't adding up of where they were being spent or allocated or whatever. And I just want to clarify that initially we signed an MOA for $381,664.56. And 137 of that, 137,720.56 to be exact, was for the cell expansion, and then $243,944 was for the roll-off trucks. The confusion, I believe, comes from those roll-off trucks.
Mm-hmm.
Those roll-off trucks, the quotes that we received back in December were just for the trucks themselves, not for the roll-off piece or whatever. So from what I'm understanding through Jesse and I's conversations, he will be coming back for approval to purchase that part of it from equipment reserve. So I just wanted to give you a clarification in regards to that.
Okay.
Also, I just wanted to let you know that from April 1st of 2024 to April 1st of 2025, all receipts, copies of checks, all of that have been sent to the Southeast Kansas Regional Planning Commission. They've asked for those so they could also stay on top of things to make sure that we stay compliant for the next few years, especially because of our turnover here. So that has all been submitted to Carrie, and she is moving forward with that. However, we did come across one instance that we have a flaw with, and so I'm asking for an amendment that we will do to the original MOA for that $381,000. I sent a copy to you on Friday that showed the original MOA, signed MOA for that $381,000. The downfall is if you go to paragraph 5, it says, whereas the city of Mound City. The city of Mound City is the one that helped us develop these MOAs in the beginning. And somehow Carrie, myself, Mr. West, and all 3 commissioners at the time missed that typo. So we have an amendment that I'm asking you to sign that says that that really should have said the county of Linn instead of the city of Mound City. And so I'm asking you to sign that today.
Okay. I don't see the email, but
She's supposed to send it to you on Friday.
Is it in the SharePoint?
oh,
It may be in the SharePoint.
I'll look at it.
Yeah,
It's the same thing.
that looks like the section that says the city of Mound City. But it should say this, the county of Linn. We can't change anything else, just that wording, according to Carrie, so.
Have we had Jacqueline look at this?
She's out of the country. I emailed it to her. She sent it to Danielle.
Is she good with it?
I just asked Jacqueline. Jacqueline, the commissioners are asking if you've seen this amendment and if it's recommended that they sign it.
She's not seen that
Oh, she's here.
she is not, oh, sorry, but she has not seen that amendment section. Because I wasn't sure, I was under the impression she wasn't taking care of anything at this while she was out of the country, so I apologize for that.
So we need to go into executive session to discuss, with attorney-client privilege, to discuss legal and trade secrets. So that would be pursuant to parentheses B, 2.
B2.
Do you want to go now?
Would you like to go now, and who would you like in the meeting?
The commissioners and Chastity.
I'll make a motion. We go into executive session pursuant to 75-4319B2 for attorney-client privilege. That's my motion.
For how long?
Jacqueline?
You want 10
10
minutes?
minutes.
10.
10 minutes.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Sorry.
Been moved and seconded. And any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We'll return at 9:39.
I'm sorry?
No action. So,
I move that we sign the amendment to the memorandum of agreement for the ARPA funds and change stating from the city of Mound City to the county of Linn, and allow Chairperson Jim Johnson and Public Works Administrator Jesse Walton to sign.
I'll second.
it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Let me wait till he signs this in there. Go ahead and sign it.
I'll go ahead, I think.
Jacqueline, do you have a preference?
If you could
Come back.
please sign it, because I may have to take that physically to
The
his
question,
home and
sorry.
have him sign it so I can get that to her by tomorrow.
Jim asked if they should sign this amendment or if they should wait till Jesse signs it and then sign it last.
Yeah, I prefer the commissioner sign it last.
I'll tell you what, get
I'll
over
hunt you down.
You get it back. I'll come by and I'll sign it.
Perfect, thank you. The only other thing I have regarding ARPA is back when we were doing the MOAs, there was an MOA that was signed and agreed upon for in the amount of $85,575. That was a reimbursement for some receipts and some things that took place prior to 2024 in regards to the cell expansion. That money was transferred back from ARPA to general funds, but I need to know that it is okay or can be approved to be moved back into solid waste funds, because that's where it initially came from, not general funds. So they can move forward also with that and have that much more money to put
So it's
towards
been
that.
spent already.
It was spent in 2023 timeframe, and you guys asked for a reimbursement of that, some receipts, and so they approved that, and that money was from ARPA funds. Then
But we were targeting it for solid waste and we just had that error.
that's no. Well, I don't know that it was an error. It was initially that $575,000 came out of solid waste and was used. And then when ARPA reimbursed, it didn't reimburse it back to general funds. It didn't reimburse it back to solid waste funds. It reimbursed it back to general funds.
Okay.
And we would like, after Jesse and I have had conversations about moving forward with the cell expansion and the cost that it's going to be, we would just like that money back into that solid waste funds where it came from in the beginning.
Can we just verify with Danielle that that's what she's saying is accurate? And then I'm okay with moving forward. That's what should have happened. That's where that money should have gone, right?
Double check.
She might have to do some digging, but
Yeah, I would just want to double check.
April 10th is when the transfer took place.
Maybe it's not. But yes, definitely we can do that.
double check it and then next Monday okay?
Yeah, that whenever is perfectly fine. I just wanted to bring your attention while we were talking about
We'll
ARPA.
check on decide next week. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Okay, moving forward, I just would like a little bit of guidance on where you want me to move forward with the airport. I had an airport committee a few weeks ago, an airport committee meeting, I should say. Only 3 individuals showed up. However, in the meantime, I've had another lifelong patron from Linn County that would like to be part of this committee. With that being said, the committee would like for us to do 2 things. And so I'm bringing this to you. And the one thing they would like to do is to have a fuel tank that actually works out there. I have been meeting or visiting with Ray Seif from the aviation director of KDOT. He is sharing some information with me to get in contact with some businesses that actually do that stuff, the fuel system. From what I'm understanding, it was a fiasco with the previous fuel tank not being able to change the prices from our office, or it was switching gears, and whatever the case may be is. From what I understand, it was a disaster. So I'd like to know where you want me to go with that direction, as well as I met with, over the phone, a gentleman by the name of Corey in regards to the lighting situation out there. The last time I think I came forward to you, I think we had 7 out of 40 lights that were working. We now have 2 lights that are working. And he sent me a quote just this morning in regards to fix the current lighting situation that we have, because they are about a 5-year length of time frame for solar batteries, and all of them are shot. We did a ton of troubleshooting trying to figure out what the situation was, and that's how we were able to determine. That cost us $16,155. However, with that being said, the airport committee individuals would like to see those lights go away and actually hardwire lights be put in.
Do we know what the cost is for that?
I do not. That's why I wanted to know if you want me to move forward in regards to getting those quotes, putting out bids. How would you like for me to move forward with that? The initial lights that we currently have out there right now were $200,000. So just throwing that out there, that we'd spent $200,000.
Lights are 200.
200,000.
We received them on the grant, right?
Mhm.
Okay. And they're still in storage?
No. I'm talking about two different sets of lights. I'm talking about the current solar lights that we have out there right now were $200,000 is what we paid for them. The Pappy lights that we have that are still in storage, I think was included in that, but they were not built for our airport because our airport is not, the runway is not long enough for those Pappy lights.
How often do you meet with that committee, the airport committee? Or what is your vision for that committee if we are trying to get the airport reopened? What time?
My vision first off would, let's start with the little things, getting some lights that work. It saddens me and makes me really nervous that we are going to be liable for a major issue if we don't get some working lights out there. Even though we have a NOTAM out there that states we are not a dusk to dawn airport, it's still a liability issue, I think, personally, on my end. I understand that we have insurance and that sort of thing, but still, it makes me nervous. So I would like to see us start with those two things. I'm just going to keep talking because this is just about airport. No decision needs to be made directly today. I just want to make you aware of a couple things. The other thing is I'm constantly having phone calls. I bet I've had 5, maybe 6 phone calls of somebody on a regular basis, and sometimes it's the same person calling back, seeing if we've changed our mind. They want to see hangars out there. Every airport around us, Johnson County, Gardner, the Pittsburgh airport, all of their hangars are full. Not exactly sure what they each one of those charge, but if we had hangars that we had available here, that's an income that the airport could be making.
So in regards to that, we would be able to put those on our own lots?
From what I understand, you're not wanting to sell those lots. I had an individual I've had 2 people now want to call and purchase lots, and we've kind of put that on hold until we knew what we wanted to do. So one of the individuals from the committee suggested building some T hangars, so you could put like 3 airplanes in one hangar at a time.
So for me, I want to get it open. I want to get it back to where it needs to be. But for like the vision, instead of coming in and just saying, hey, can we do the lights? Can we do this? I would like you to come back. This is just me talking, but like have like an actual 1 to 5 year plan, some sort of strategic plan that how we're going to get this airport back up and operating, and not just, so once you have that approved, then we have the plan put in place. And you guys can proceed each year with the budget of how we're going to accomplish those goals. Can we use Southeast Kansas, the Regional Planning Commission, to help us with this?
I'm not really sure that Ray Sy from the Aviation Director of KDOT he's just been a wealth of knowledge to me, obviously. It's his position, but he has literally answered almost every question I've had in regards to this since I'm so new at it. So
I would like to continue and have quarterly airport committee meetings at minimum. It may require more to get this started. But like if you're saying it's $16,000 to get what we have out there fixed, but the committee, and we're going to take their opinion seriously because they're the professionals and you are as well. You're going to come back and say, it's not a good option to do the 16,000. We needed a hardwire and this is the cost for that.
Okay.
And then have that in that plan. And then once we approve a plan.
As well as the fuel.
And the fuel, exactly, all that. I mean, this, I don't even know if we can give her direction
Right.
on
And where
an
do we-
annual budget.
Where do we sit
Yeah,
with
that's-
the city of Pleasanton?
The lot split was approved, so
Okay.
we have been, that lot split has taken place. And it's already been registered, or put in the
Recorded.
register, recorded, yes.
I think that-
Annexation of the city, where are we at with it?
We're just on hold right now at the moment. We wanted to take care of the lot split first, and that just was approved 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I think Thursday. So we will now attempt to move forward with
I think moving
annexation.
forward, Pleasanton, they want to see action from the county. They want to see a commitment that we are willing to put the work in to get it reopened before anything else happens with them, I believe. Does that make sense?
From what I've read,
They're not going to annex everything. They want to see that we're committed to
So-
opening
so-
the airport back up. Those are just conversations I've had with Pleasanton.
So you're saying that they won't de-annex it until we do something?
Okay, so I think that there's two different options here. You can legally go in and just through litigation, we could probably be de-annexed, but I would personally rather keep a good working relationship with the city of Pleasanton.
I'm in favor of that as well.
You know, show them that we're committed to this airport. It's been sitting, you guys over years now have one thing after another have just taken the money away or taken the fuel tank away or not fixed the lights or the runway. It's just, to me, I think that the community and the county has heard that we're trying to close it, and that's just not my vision.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's where you guys stand on it. I think that before we take any action, you're gonna want to see a plan.
Well, I think there's a problem
Financially.
there with the lots being owned by individuals too. I mean,
Absolutely.
That's an issue.
But all the issues,
Right.
all the lot splits, the issues with that, the annexation, that needs to be in the planning stages of like, hey, in this month, we are going to try and get de-annexation and work with Pleasanton. And this month, we're going to fix this. And this is how much it's going to cost. And working with Ray is going to be critical in this entire process.
for sure.
I think-
One thing I wanted to pass and share on to with you is at the STARS program next year, 2025, 2026 school year, they are adding another pathway of aviation.
Yeah,
So,
we had talked about that and how we can,
so that airport could be
School,
really
like a
vital
first-
to our area.
I talked to them about that. So, I mean,
I'll start working on that with them and come back some other day regarding what's.
okay, so
for you.
continue. Are we all on board with her continuing with the committee at least quarterly? And are we okay with doing like a 1 to 5 year strategic plan? Can she do that?
I am.
I am too.
Okay. Sure.
3 months, 2
Sure.
months, come
Yep.
back.
Yep. I'll do it.
Thank you.
Next thing I have on my list, I still got more. You're not done. I just want to announce the grant winners of the youth. I'll start with the community development grant. We currently still have 2 more of those to grant out. The first person was Des Poole. She's going to do a Women Empowering Women event in October. And then Marsha Wonderly with Farmers and Merchants, continuing to do events in Mound City for our entire county to be part of. So congratulations to those 2, as well as the 4 childcare providers, Jen Johnson of Pleasanton, Casey Barker of Mound City, Melody Crooks of Pleasanton, and Rachel Watts of Mound City. They do a thankless job that we don't have near enough providers. I would not want to be in their shoes, but I personally know all 4 of these, and they do an amazing job at what they do. So congratulations to them. And then the youth summer program, we did not have near the applicants that we had in the past, from what I understand. We did have 11 reach outs and awarded 10 of them. So Coleman Hardware, Blood Good Services, F&M Bank, Roberts Dental out of Lacine, Heinz Family Farm, People's Telecom, Stadenbrooks Auto Farm and Home, Truly Insurance, Rose Plumbing, and Everybody's will receive that grant upon their documentation and things that they turn into me.
I'm sure you're doing this, but you are sending out cards and
Yep.
all that.
I'm on it.
I know.
Letters go
Sure.
to everybody.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Also, I just have a couple other things. I'm asking to be put on the agenda next month, May 12th, for non-elected personnel job description and a 6-month evaluation. I received another statement from QuickCom for their $58,000 payment, and would like to know how you would like for me to handle that. I know that has been an ongoing conversation for several months now.
Was that in the share drive today?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought I saw it somewhere, but let me go in. You want to put quick calm on the agenda for next week?
Next week.
10 minutes executive, Chastity, with Chastity. Can we do that? Are you
Okay.
going to be here? Okay.
And you might want to put
Remember
Jesse
that-
in there as well. Jesse
Okay.
needs to be in on that as well.
Okay.
We've been working on this together.
Fine.
Remember that legal will not be available May 5th.
Oh, yeah. Can we, well,
That's up to you. This invoice is from September, so, I don't know what you want me to
go with May 12th.
do. Okay. Here's a question Danielle has spent countless time. I have spent countless time. I've reached out to Chris a couple times. I'm looking for an adopted logo, font, and color scheme for the county of Linn County. Are any of you aware of one? Danielle's gone clear back to 1997, if I'm correct. Nothing has been officially adopted. And in order to do what I feel like needs to be done, that any sign that goes up on our county signs, anything that's posted on our Facebook pages, on our website, wherever the case may be is, I feel like we need to have an official adopted logo, font, and color scheme.
Okay.
The ones that I have seen, there's like 7, I think, that Chris shared with me. And don't quote me on that exactly, but I know that I have numerous. Just different things are different. The red's a different shade. The sword's moved over a little bit. The font's a hair different, whatever the case may be is. How would you like for me to move forward in trying to come up with something that we can adopt?
So I would have assumed that would have already happened prior to me being in here, that we would have adopted a logo. So if that hasn't happened, absolutely, I think it needs to be reviewed. We need to purchase the font package, and we need to have the Pantone colors motioned and voted on, because moving forward, I've seen trucks in this county that they're different colors, they're different shapes.
Yep.
I agree. And also with you working with the Historical Society, I've talked to my sister about it a lot. We've got to come up with some sort of fluent, some sort of, it's got to be cohesive.
I would personally like to see that anything that we post on Facebook, that's one way of being able to say this is literally from us, is by having that
It's our
adopted
official
logo.
logo. I am actually in favor of looking into updating the logo personally.
Anything from you two?
So what kind of changes are you wanting to see in place?
Oh, I think it needs to not be the commissioners. I think it needs to be an actual company that we're working with, and we're moving forward with different font packages and different logos for the county, and how we're going to put that into the website. I think Chastity should lead it.
Okay. So may I reach out to a couple
Graphic design?
yes, thank you for that word, graphic designers, to ask them to work with us in regards to a couple things regarding that, at least to get us started. And-
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Are you logo, font package, colors, Pantones, anything else that we need to address with that? And then you come back with how much you think that's going to be, and then we'll put it on the agenda to discuss it further.
Okay.
Okay. And have it also with the Historical Society. I don't know if you need to include that as well, because I know you had asked for some feedback.
So what we realized and came to conclusion with is the Historical Society technically are their own entities. They're not owned by us. We quote unquote sponsor them by providing money to them.
Right.
So they as a whole within each one of their entities have decided they would not be okay with saying we as commissioners or you as commissioners are requiring our logo. However, there is a logo thing over there on the Gordon Parks Courthouse, whatever you call it, that has, I believe, a Linn County QR code or something that says that, and it says it was sponsored by or supported by, and they are willing to do something like that if they can use those terms. So again, I think that's a little bit down the road prior to making those decisions.
Well, I just didn't know if you need assistance with the font package for historical societies, because we talked about the
Correct.
courthouse and how we were going to update these signs, or whether it's on private property and having some sort of logo
Yes.
that, but I don't want the logo to be purple and then
Correct.
over here it's red. It's like, that doesn't,
Right.
I want it all to make sense.
Right,
And
I
you know,
agree.
all the mile markers or different historical sites that we have, new signage needed to be replaced. We need to figure out that color scheme too.
Correct. Yep. That's the thought.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
I have two things. One is I just want to let you know that I'm headed out this evening to a conference for the rest of the week, so I will not be in the office. It's the Heartland Economic Development 101 conference. I've already taken an online class. That was a 2-hour online class, mandatory class, and then I'll be there the rest of the week. Most of those sessions go from about 7:45 in the morning until 7:30 at night. So they'll be long days, but I'm looking forward to the amounts of information. And then the last thing I have is literally just a thing I want to say to our patrons. This is not directed to you as commissioners, but to our patrons. I bet at least once, sometimes twice a week, someone asks me why I chose to come and work in this mess. Their words, not mine. And I just want to take a second to share that not everyone is set in your shoes as commissioners. I sure in the heck do not want to be put in those shoes as a commissioner. But what I want to say is that regardless of what happens in this room every Monday, there's a lot of really good things that happen the other 4 days of the week. And there are some really good things. We have some really good employees. We have some really good people. And not everybody gets recognized. And the one thing I want to take a second to recognize is the road that is, it's Lane Road, goes my house back behind to 850, 2 low water bridges. I literally came in and said, Joyce, can you please put in a service ticket? The one bridge is so washed out, I'm about literally bottom out in my car. And less than 24 hours later, that road was as smooth as could be, as if it had never been anything but a paved road. And so I don't know who did it. I asked her to reach out to them and let them know, but I just want to say again to the patrons, be kind. Be kind, because you're only seeing a portion of what we see. I don't want to be in your shoes. You're making some really tough decisions. They're not always fun. We have some really good people, and this is an amazing county to live in. So, anything else for me?
Thank you, Cass.
Oh, I can't leave yet. Sorry, not leaving.
Oh, yeah.
You got me.
What you were here.
That's what I'm here for. These are the bids for the website, finally. Please make a decision.
No problem.
So I can move forward with that. Check that off my list. Should have one for,
Oh,
I believe Red Logic, and one from Civic Plus. There should have been a third, but I'm possibly guessing it got lost in the mail. Thank goodness Red Logic called on Friday and asked if we received it, because we had not, and he hand delivered it because it did not get to us. The mail is a disaster right now. Now you're freezing. We were hot earlier.
Okay, this one's from Red Logic for web designed, package price of $22,860, and that's a fixed price.
are you finished? Okay, Civic Plus, and total initial investment, $26,001.40, with annual recurring services of $5,919.
5,000 what? I'm sorry.
5,919. That's annual services after the first year.
So I'll just share a couple things from working with both of these companies diligently. Red Logic, we as a county will own the website. They will help. There are hourly rates that if there is something goes wrong, we need something fixed, they have to do something, that sort of thing. I don't remember exactly what those hourly rates are, and I don't even know if he gave me an exact number. He just kind of gave me an estimate. Civic Plus will be owned by Civic Plus. That $59.19 includes any updates that need to take place. They will give us, I believe, two 3-hour training sessions, or maybe it's 2 hours. I'm not exactly sure. Again, you'd have to read all of that. With that as well. The difference, honestly, between the two companies, they were amazing to work with. We were very blessed to have a company locally here. But the difference between these is Red Logic is not a government-based company that really works with a ton of governments. They do a couple government websites, where Civic Plus, that is all they do is work with government entities. And so they know the legal aspects of things. They're up to date with all of that. So
Okay.
that's really about all I can give to you that's different between the two.
I would say take these and put them together and bring recommendations back to us,
Okay?
right?
Next week? Or
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna, what's the date? The
it's up
second?
to you. If you
No, I think I can do that. If not, I'll ask for an extension, but I think should be able to do that. A lot of it will just depend on how this week goes with that.
okay.
The
We'll
conference.
put you on.
Make it 2 weeks?
Yeah, let's make it 2 weeks.
Okay.
Give me a
do
little
that.
bit of time, sorry.
You're fine.
This one's.
If I was just getting sit in a hotel room all night, I would do that,
Are
but
you giving these back? All
I
three?
was.
I don't care. I just was wondering. I'm gonna keep mine.
Keep yours.
anything else for me? I've taken a ton of time, I apologize.
No, you're fine.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Chastity. Have a good week at your conference.
Do you want to do your legal for job descriptions?
I think you want to go into public comment. Oh, you moved it to 10:45.
Well,
No.
I figured a lot of the public comment would have to do with some of the old business, so I thought we might do old business first. However, you've already approved the agenda in the orders.
Yeah, I didn't notice. I know. I'm sorry.
Sorry,
It's okay.
it was posted with days of notice.
You guys want to go?
What's 10:10 for Tanglewood? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Joyce.
Last fall, we submitted our transportation grant for this fiscal year coming up. We were awarded $78,301.80. So
Perfect.
they're reimbursing me everything I submitted for their percentage.
Awesome.
And
Thanks,
that's-
Joyce.
That's it.
For the senior transportation or the? Yep.
Just transportation.
Thank you.
Now, what do you want to do?
We replaced this old business executive session with a legal session for job descriptions.
Okay. so
If you wanted
10
to do that
minutes?
first before we address Tanglewood,
Tanglewood.
The 10-minute?
that's correct.
Okay. I'll make a motion to go in executive session for 10 minutes, for legal job descriptions with Danielle and 3 commissioners
And legal.
and our attorney.
This is personnel matters of non-elected personnel pursuant to
Not legal.
754319 parentheses B parentheses 1. So job descriptions of personnel matters for non-elected personnel.
Okay. That's my motion.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We'll return at 10:18.
Is this the one I changed? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just making sure.
Was no action. We'll go to Tanglewood.
Jacqueline, did you have something prepared for Tanglewood?
Yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and say that I've had the opportunity to speak with the attorney for Tanglewood and also review the history of Tanglewood as well as the county. And Tanglewood had been private, and it is the commissioner's decision that it's going to remain private at this time. There is no resolutions that need to be passed or signed today because nothing is changing. It's going to continue to be the way that it has always been.
Can everyone hear okay?
She just said that there was not going to be a resolution and nothing was going to change there with the roads Tanglewood is going to remain private.
And who is that stating this?
That is our legal counsel. Okay.
Come up and state your name, please.
Sure, Jim Hendershot, a resident of Tanglewood. I'm curious about the judge's ruling, how this decision or guidance that you're giving plays in with that judge's ruling that the roads are public.
Can your counsel override the judge's decision?
I don't know. Can your counsel hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
So the bottom line is that the hearing that occurred in the court was a public criminal matter involving a specific defendant. What was pending in the court was not a civil matter pertaining to any type of zoning or anything like that. So that order from that court is not inconsistent with what I'm saying. She didn't rule that the county has to have the roads be public or that the county has to undertake to perform any duties that they weren't previously undertaking. That had to do with the legal standard for the criminal cause of action for which those defendants were charged. So that didn't have to do with the rights of the county or of the homeowners association with regards to maintenance of the roads.
Okay, second question then is, you said you did your research, so I'm assuming that you've seen that every plat that was filed or recorded and then accepted by the county commission in 1974, each one of those say those roads are public forever.
So, as you know, the county has never undertaken any action to publicly use and or maintain, those roads. And so that's how things are going to stay.
Okay, please understand, I'm only trying to avoid future issues. I just want to make sure we're going down the right path, and I understand what your guidance is. And if you've spoken to our attorney, we'll speak with him and see what his thoughts are. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Anyone else on behalf of Tanglewood?
Anyone else like to speak?
You're on the agenda.
Chuck Stevens, I'm president of the Tanglewood Board. We had spoken to Jason about having something in writing. I understand the attorney saying no resolution, but what's to stop the next court case before the judge and we go through this process all over again?
So, I mean, I think another thing that I just need to say on behalf of the county is that, you know, insofar as you all are represented by an attorney and the county is represented by myself, some things are sort of a matter of attorney-client privilege and that sort of a thing. And for example, my rules of professional conduct prevent me from having conversations with represented parties. And so we had agreed that we would just issue a statement on behalf of the commissioners that indicated that since the case law is pretty clear and the statutes are pretty clear, that insofar as there hasn't been any undertaking to make those roads public in any kind of way, any type of modification to that would be made, such as passing a resolution now, that has the implication that it's being changed. And we don't want to give that implication because nothing is being changed. The road has and always will continue to be, you know, private until such time as any type of legal rezoning or whatever is undertaken. So that's the position that the commission is taking at this time, and I'm happy to continue to have the lines of communication with your guys' attorney.
So I need to express my concerns to the attorney, to you.
Yes.
I mean, to the extent that I haven't addressed, you know, those, then yeah, I mean, I'm happy to talk to Mr. Dominic about those things.
Okay. And the items that we requested, the partnership items, are those still on the table or have those been discussed?
I would like to see those put in as assistance agreements and things of that nature so that we can address them in that manner, kind of similar to what we've done in the past.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Guess we'll go to Eva Mackey.
How are you? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for allowing me to speak with you today. For those of you that don't know me,
Move it down.
sorry, vertically challenged.
You're fine.
For those of you that don't know me, my name is Eva Riojas Mackey, and I am a resident at Tanglewood Lake, a subdivision here in Linn County. I am here today to talk to you about Tanglewood, the gates, and the roads. I am aware of the strong opinions the majority of you have about me for removing the gates, and that is one of the things I will be addressing today. While we share in the frustration that an event like that had to occur, I hope to help you understand how we got there. I feel like information has been overlooked and or ignored due to the previous county councilors' misrepresentation of the status of Tanglewood's roads. And I appreciate this opportunity to provide you all with some information and a little backstory to this not so new issue. Before I begin, in front of you are the documents I used to prepare for today's meeting, as well as a copy of what I am reading. I apologize for the impersonalness of me reading directly to you, but there is a lot of information I would like to cover, and I'm known to be a tangent queen. Please note, some of the documents in your folders are not the whole documents, but rather the parts that are relevant. I do have a full copy of every document available, should you like to see them. In your folders are copies of the following documents. Do you need me to read them to you? Okay. And then, so on June 10th, 2019, I came before this Board of Commissioners seeking help for numerous Linn County residents that were being locked in and or out of their homes by the Board of Directors at Tanglewood. At that time, Tanglewood was a fully gated subdivision that required a key access card to enter and exit the community. According to Judge Andrea Purvis, this made owners whose access cards were deactivated either homeless with their homes on the inside of the subdivision and them on the out, or criminally restrained prisoners, or residents were physically kept from leaving, from going to work, getting food, hauling water, being able to have someone come in and out to haul our septic waste. Recognizing that local governments are usually left in an unattainable position with homeowners associations and their authority to govern, I first contacted several government agencies, including but not limited to the Attorney General's Office, Kansas Bureau of Investigation, Department of Aging and Disability, because most of the residents without access were elderly and disabled, the Disability Rights Center of Kansas, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, as well as our Sheriff's Department. Every department I spoke with told me the same thing. They didn't have jurisdiction or authority, that I needed to go to my county commissioners, and that my county commissioners were responsible for anything that has to do with the roads and accessing them. So I came to my commissioners, seeking assistance with something in which I believed you, as county commissioners, had the full and final decisions over: accessing roads, right-of-ways, easements, utilizing them easements. However, after listening to me and a couple other individuals speak about the situations we were in, Mr. Thompson informed us that there was nothing that the commissioners could do for us. When I informed Mr. Thompson of the other agencies I had already reached out to and their responses, he informed me it was because the roads inside the gates of Tanglewood were private, which meant that the commissioners did not have any authority or jurisdiction to help us out either. Mr. Thompson went on to further advise me that the most assistance this commission could offer was a recommendation that we hire a lawyer and file a lawsuit with the district court. So per the advice of the county counselor, and with no other option, an injunction against the board of directors for Tanglewood Lakes was filed in the district court requesting access to and from the subdivision for all owners. Unfortunately, before the injunction could be heard, COVID-19 struck and everything was shut down, including the courts. Everyone was on lockdown or quarantine, except some of us owners at Tanglewood Lake. We were still being locked in and out of our homes. On June 8th, 2020, I once again came before this Board of Commissioners, this time begging and pleading for help, for myself and my community members to be able to access our homes. The number of residents that were being restricted access to their homes had doubled by this time, and we were in the middle of a national pandemic. I have elderly and disabled parents, as well as an elderly and mentally disabled uncle, all that reside in Tanglewood and rely heavily on me. Without a gate access card, caring for them was near impossible. No one in my family had the ability to even get water in our homes. Sorry. Because that meant we had to go through that gate. Yet, despite my pleas, the pandemic, and the fact that the consequences of allowing Tanglewood to continue to restrict people from their homes posed a serious concern for public safety, I was again informed that this commission could not help me. I was told that we were dealing with a civil matter that could only be handled by a district court judge. I was once again told I needed to hire a lawyer and file a lawsuit, despite the fact we already had a lawsuit filed and were still waiting for a court date, and still did not have access to our homes. By mid-2021, frustrations within the community were reaching an all-time high. 737 owners' access cards had been deactivated. The prosecutor, Burton Harding, refused to charge Tanglewood's board for breaking the law and criminally restraining people. In an email from Burton Harding to Darcy Dominy, the attorney for Tanglewood, dated July 13th, 2021, Mr. Harding wrote, "Hi, Darcy. I'm writing to follow up with you regarding the ongoing issues Linn County is having regarding the gate cards being shut off at Tanglewood Lakes. I spoke with you earlier this year about the issue and told you that the sheriff's office told me that if they received another complaint, that they were going to send me a probable cause affidavit and send it to my office to consider filing criminal charges against the board of directors. I am contacting you today because that has finally happened, and I have a PC affidavit that could form the basis of the charges of criminal restraint in violation of 2154 Section A. That section reads that criminal restraint is knowingly without legal authority restraining another person so as to interfere substantially with such person's liberty. I have many thoughts when applying this language to what is happening in Tanglewood. I can foresee your argument that shutting off the gate cards does not substantially interfere with anyone's liberty, and that argument isn't without merit. However, I think there's definitely a class of people for whom not being able to drive up to their property or drive out of the association would absolutely substantially interfere with their liberty. Someone disabled, elderly, on oxygen, etc. So whether or not this part of the statute applies may vary based on the complainant. However, the language I think is more problematic for the board is without legal authority. I can also foresee your argument here that these lot owners took the land subject to the covenants and restrictions on it and are bound to them like everyone else, and among those is consenting to the authority of the board to shut off gate cards for non-payment. However, I don't think that consent or the covenant and restriction trumps the language of KSA 584608 subsection 6, it looks like 6A and C, which says that a property owners association can suspend any right or privilege for failure to pay, but may not deny the unit owner access to his or her property or do anything that would endanger their health, safety, or property. As to A, again, I think you would have a difficult time convincing a judge or jury that shutting off the gate card and denying access to hauling in their basic necessities is something other than denying them access to their property. And as to C, I don't think it would be difficult to demonstrate that not being able to leave the community on the roads through the gate doesn't put some of their health and safety at risk. Finally, I have reached out to other lake communities and gated communities in Kansas to ask about their policy on delinquent assessments, and the answer I always received was that it was their opinion that it was illegal to shut off a gate card and not allow access to the lot owner's property if they lived there. Essentially, the purpose of this email is to inform you that it is beginning to appear to me, the more closely I look into it, that your board could very well be criminally liable under the statute of criminal restraint. At this time, I am electing not to file any charges, but want to invite you to explain to me your reasoning as to why I should not, or in the alternative, what reasonable changes can be made that would cure this issue and obviate any possible charges. For example, of the several gates available, can there be just one that a person with delinquent assessments would have access to? Regardless of how out of the way or inconvenient, if they can access their property at all, then all of my issues go away. Is it possible to agree that gate cards can be shut off provided the member doesn't live at the lake? I am open to any other reasonable solutions as well. Please let me know your thoughts. I would very much prefer that we are able to resolve this civilly. However, as stated above, I have really begun to form the belief that the action of your board are outside of the boundaries of what is permitted by law, and I want to sort this out before someone gets seriously hurt as a result of the board's policies and actions. I look forward to hearing from you soon. On a side note real quick, the date of that was 2021. We didn't take the gates down until 2023, okay? So, just on a side note. And you see that he's not charging them, though they are clearly breaking the law. This is our prosecutor. And that same prosecutor, though, however, had no problem charging my husband, having him arrested for manually opening the gate and closing it behind him to go to work. At that point, our community was now beginning to fight amongst each other. They were trying to block and keep each other out from coming in, to keep each other from coming in or out of the gates. The police were being called daily. Yet, still, there was nothing anyone could or would do. 2022 wasn't any better. We were now 4 years without a gate access. My husband had ended up being charged and arrested more than a dozen times just for leaving to go to work. And if anyone else on the inside needed to leave, they would have had to have someone meet them on the outside of the gate, leave their car parked somewhere inside the gate, crawl through the gate, and get in the other person's vehicle. If they went shopping, they had to unload everything and do it the same way. Sadly, that's not an option when you need to haul water, though. You can't bring the water in through the hole in the gate. By the time 2023 came, my husband, who was also a vet and had never been in trouble before a day in his life, 60 years old, he had been charged 25 times for going to work. To go to work, what you're doing right now. Okay? All of which required him to bond out, miss work, and all of which were eventually dismissed because they couldn't be proven. But they just kept filing them. I hope you're beginning to understand where the frustration levels are at this point. And I hope you're taking into consideration that 737 gate cards had been deactivated. We still didn't have a court hearing for the injunction, and people had been locked out now 5 years. Removing the obstacle, i.e. the gate, was the only option we had available. We'd exhausted every other remedy. We were not wild or unruly. We didn't remove anything that was not blocking the road, and there were no violence or weapons. We simply were a group of people wanting to go home. Which brings me to the next thing that I want to discuss with you, the roads. But before I do, I want you to know it is extremely disheartening and discouraging to seek help from all of your elected government officials, be denied that help, and then be ridiculed and shamed because you were forced to come up with your own solution. I came to you, to my board of commissioners. I went to my sheriff. I went to my prosecuting attorney, looking for help, trying to prevent a problem from becoming an event even bigger than it was. I was denied. If you'll notice, I started in 2018. Yeah, 5 years later in 2023, them gates were coming down. And be it they put them back up, the court's already ruled, I will open them again. I'm just saying, they close them gates, I'm opening them. They are restricting my road, and I will never go through this again, ever. As for the roads, the first time I addressed the Board of Commissioners in 2019, I asked how the roads were ruled private when there was a dedication to the contrary on the face of every plat map. And of course, Mr. Thompson told me that the county had an agreement with Tanglewood about the roads. I only tell you this because that dedication, along with the acceptances and seals on the front of them, is one of the 3 pieces of evidence Judge Purvis used to rule that the roads were in fact public. The second piece of evidence she used was an Attorney General's opinion regarding the opening and closing of roads and bridges and what was required. In it, the Attorney General notes that KSA 68-115 says, thus once a survey and plot of the roads and a subdivision are recorded pursuant to KSA 68-102 at sequential, that action necessary for establishing roads, those roads become county roads. He goes on to further state, the county's acceptance of the roads occurs at the time the survey and plat are so recorded. Your acceptance of it. Okay? Just to get that out there. His conclusion was a county road is established upon recording the survey and plat of the same. Finally, the last thing submitted was the State of Kansas versus Richard Carl Dines, number 82,433. It's case law. In this case, the Court of Appeals does a great job of explaining the road laws, who is responsible for them according to the law, and they go all the way back to the late 1800s. So given the dedications, the surveys, the filing and acceptance of the final plat maps, which occurred the first one in 1970, with our recorder of deeds, and in addition to the court ruling, I don't see how you can say the roads are private. I am fully aware that managing Tanglewood's roads would require the county to shoulder an increase in expenses. However, the residents of Tanglewood Lake have been paying taxes for the last 55 years, getting little to nothing in return. I also understand that the law is pretty strict on using taxpayers' money on private property. Yet we have a Linn County transfer station inside this subdivision. And you guys are discussing making Tanglewood's old office a fire station. Don't get me wrong, I'm not against it. I think it's a great thing. However, I do believe in the law too. And I don't know how you can justify taxpayers' dollars being locked behind a gate on a private road. I can remember back in 2011 when Pleasanton donated a fire truck to Tanglewood. And we had to give it back because we weren't a city and they weren't allowed to give it to us. Nothing's changed. Tanglewood is still not a city or a taxing entity, nor are they a 501c3 corporation. So therefore, I respectfully request that this Board of County Commissioners carefully considers this information that I share with you today. I hope I was also able to provide some clarity. I appreciate your time and attention to this critical issue. I am confident that by working together, we can create a stronger and more vibrant community for all residents of Linn County. I am happy to answer any questions you all may have or provide you with any further information. And just one more thing. The county counselor was correct that it was a ruling made in a criminal case. But all that takes is a lawsuit filed in the court to have it enforced. And just so you know, there's a group of citizens that are willing to have that done. So if you think that we won't be in court over this, you're mistaken. Because the time for fixing that came and went 10 years ago when you guys had us locked out of our homes. We should have never had to have gotten to where we got on May 18th. That should have never had to have come here. And the fact that I reached out to every entity to prevent it and nobody wanted to take care of it, but I'm at fault, I'll be at fault again if they close them gates. You've been warned. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Insofar as the citizen has raised a plethora of legal issues, on behalf of the county, I will take the notes and script of your statement, of her statement, and advise the commission accordingly. I'm advising the commission to allow the counselor an opportunity to review this information before the commission makes any public response.
Would you like a full set of documents? Are you okay with just the pertinent first?
What you just gave me is what I gave Danielle, and she's going to be scanning all of that. And do you have more documents you would like our attorney to review?
Step up the top, would you
Yeah.
please, so people can hear?
I didn't provide you with like the order from the judge that goes in there and explains all of the issues. The first part of it was all just citing the case law that brought us to her ruling. So instead of wasting paper and making 21 pages, I only provided you with the 4 that actually started to
If you
talk.
want to take that folder and make that folder everything you want our attorney to review, that gray folder, and then give that to her before you leave. If you need to make a copy, you can go into the office, though.
You don't have the full order. Here's the full order. You'll see why I only provided you like 3 pages out of the HUD report.
Right.
It's pages.
Do
And because it was pertinent with that one,
Right.
you have a full copy of it.
you want to just
Does the statement that you gave have an official request or demand that you're making of the county at this time?
Yes, ma'am. I read it. What I read to you have a copy of verbatim.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the microphone and everything, I couldn't hear every single word that you said, so I just wanted to make sure that I have the written information as well.
Thank you. We'll be in touch with you on when we'll be given the response. If you wrote your name or you have her number, we'll be in contact. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you please confirm whether or not she has an attorney or she's like representing herself?
Are you representing yourself or do you have attorney currently?
I don't have an attorney right now, so I'm not running matters.
Right.
I have one too.
She has an attorney on retainer.
I have enough intelligence.
Currently speaking on her own behalf, but has an attorney on retainer.
I mean, if she's represented by an attorney, then I will need her attorney's contact information. If she's not represented by an attorney and she's representing herself, then we can respond directly to her.
She said she's representing herself at this time. Correct?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I guess we'll move on to public comment. Citizen desiring to speak on an item not on the agenda may do so at this time. This discussion is limited to 5 minutes. The commission will not take action at this time. Item introduced under public comment may become agenda item at a later time or date.
Hello, Commissioners. So I'm here today to maybe, hopefully,
State your name, would you please?
Kevin Amer, Mound City, Kansas.
Okay, thank you.
How you doing, guys? So I was hoping to get some follow-up on the harassment training thing. I'd really like to see that happen if it can happen, and I know it can happen through the insurance company. But I'm moving on to subject number 2. Chastity must have read my mind. It's about the Public Works reporting system that we have. We pay $3,688 a year. The system we got because, like me, when I was out putting up signs, we have to have some sort of document with a timeline so that we don't get sued and we're not liable. So let me just state the thing that I really hate to hear is that I got a phone call in meetings. I got a phone call about this road or that road. That's not documenting to cover our butt. That's the job of Joyce. And I know that people are going to call you, but they should be directed, in my opinion, to call Joyce. Because on a lot of these issues, if we don't document them in a timely manner or hey, we forget, or we didn't get the person's phone number and it becomes a legal issue and they reported it and we didn't record it, there is some sort of liability that can be made out of all that. That's why we got it. That's why we pay $3,688 a year for a backup system. I do see your attorney's listening to me, and I'm sure she knows quite well about the issues of road laws and such. So just hoping that we can move on with that and utilize that and not get these phone calls from friends and not say their names and I have an issue with that too, because how do I really know? How do I know who's talking to you if it's not recorded? But it's reported that they have a problem because they might be saying there's a problem. We might have already fixed it according to the public records. Or it may be a repeat person that, so we're paying for it. We need to use it to keep ourselves out of legal matters. That's all I got for this week, guys. Thank you. Oh, and I appreciate the follow-up on some of the things from last week. I'm happy to know that some changes might be coming. I'm sure they are. I really appreciate that. Your employees.
I don't know exactly what you're addressing, but like for me, like I get a lot of phone calls. I think a lot of us do, and I don't always direct people to Joyce, but I call Joyce and we get those documented.
And that's cool if she's got the name and number, but you get what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying. I just think that there are a lot of different ways to get it entered in Public Works, and it's not always going to be me directing someone that's personally contacted me. And I'll be like, oh, sorry, thank you for your call, but I'm going to have you call this other number. So
right.
I handle the situation or send an email. So
I'm sure you do.
just want to make that clear.
But I, just as long as we do it properly and because I really hate hearing in an open meeting, I got a phone call from a friend and don't hear the name or don't hear the phone number. We shouldn't even be hearing that here. We should be going to Joyce. That's just my opinion.
I understand what you're saying.
Thanks guys.
Kevin.
Thanks. Until next week.
Have a great day.
You too.
Anyone else?
Jennifer, did you need to speak or are we good?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, we talked about it. Do I need to make a motion for amendment? Okay. It's okay. Well, I'll let him speak first and
Yeah.
Jennifer can go.
Les Warner, 22 Turnbull Court, Tanglewood. I just want to say, Cassidy brought up about the airport. I just want to do a little opinion on that. My wife's son's a pilot, and he's actually talked about the Pleasanton Airport, where there is a shortage of hangars in the community. Their pilots are having a hard time finding places to park their airplanes. Be nice to have that problem, but he would think that Pleasanton would be an ideal place for hangars and getting the fuel back going. And that's all I wanted to say, that there is community out there that would really like to see that expanded.
I think there's a lot of opportunity for growth out there, and I think
Right.
we're hopeful to find some solutions.
And it's close enough to the city where I think you'd
Yeah.
really get the traffic. I think you'd really get a money-making proposition out there.
Some benefit.
Right.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Les.
Thank you. Anyone else? We'll close public comment.
Well, not really. She's supposed to be on the agenda. We're just gonna let her comment, but it'll be over 5 minutes if she needs it.
It won't be under 5 minutes. Okay. My name is Jennifer Leach Harlow with People's Telecommunications. I have Jim McAtee with People's Telecommunications as well. I would like to address, last week I came to you with concerns on what I needed to follow up with. Commissioner Hamilton and I went and sat with Jesse and had a conversation with him, was able to resolve the issue that we had been looking for. And then I've worked very closely with Tanglewood's Board Association, and we came up with an agreement probably that was best for both of us in the fact that we do what the position that we were taking, we will not be going inside of Tanglewood, and that with what we are doing, we do not need a CUP. So we will go forward and get our permit submitted to you. So we were able to resolve our issue after talking with Jesse last week.
That sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Have a good day.
Yeah, thank you.
Jesse's out today, so if you need anything, get with Joyce.
Do you have anything else, Danielle, besides the job descriptions?
Jason Parker has accepted the full-time position as GIS admin. And so I brought the personnel change form if you'd like to read it and approve it.
Okay. Good. We make a motion. Make a motion, we hire Jason Parker for the GIS admin at 13A, which is $25.53 an hour.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay.
Anything else?
Ready for job descriptions or a brief recess if you'd like?
Do you guys want to recess or you want to move on?
I'm ready to move on.
Or? Okay,
Whoa, snack.
move on to job descriptions.
Ready? Okay, let's see.
Do you want to put it on the scale?
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't think about that. Is it under meetings? I see all these. I see Public Works job descriptions there, but then when I go into 2025 meetings, I see
I
it
may have uploaded
differently.
it twice, but yeah, use this one.
This one? Okay.
Use the one that's inside of the
For Pub Works, so.
Um, would you commissioners like Jacqueline to remain present for the rest of the meeting? Or are you okay for her to be relieved?
I'm not sure if it matters. I can't figure out the TV. Possibly.
That's what we're looking at? Just that page?
Hmm?
Just that page?
I don't know, I guess.
Hallie? What Jim has?
Here, Pub Works.
No.
I didn't it.
If you go into your SharePoint to the 2025 meeting,
2025 meeting.
and then today,
That's what I did.
and then job descriptions.
Pub Works docs, job docs, or
Oh, go up here. Oh, wait, go back. I don't know why yours
Which
looks
one?
like that. Mine does not look like that. Hold on.
Now mine looks exactly like Jim's.
that's what I
Really?
was wondering.
Oh, that's correct. So these are all the folders and the documents that are, I'm sorry, I must have called the folder something else.
Okay, so
I have job descriptions.
Organizational flow chart.
I'm just going into job descriptions.
You have a job.
Job descriptions.
Yeah, but click on that then, see what you get.
these,
Yeah, so these are the things inside of the folder. I think you just went one forward, but that's okay.
so I need to go back. Or what?
Yeah, just one
Am I in the
more.
right spot?
Yeah, you are in the right spot. I'm not sure why it's called something different for you. So the flow chart is something that you asked me to update, and I did update that.
Right.
Yeah, there should be a folder in here. Job descriptions. Yeah,
Oh,
there's
that's
it.
where I was.
Okay.
Where'd you go?
Okay, so
Jacqueline, we're going.
I'm going into job descriptions, pub works, and then maintenance. That's where I'm going into. We'll just start with maintenance.
There.
That's correct. We're going into the, just reviewing all of the public works job descriptions that I've uploaded for the commissioners in the SharePoint. If you don't want to be present, you don't need to be.
You just got the custodian job description and the lead maintenance.
You're muted, but I think you're saying I'm going to go.
All right, it's just whether or not they need me. If they don't, then don't be there.
No problem. If they have any concerns that would require you, I can definitely write them down, email them to you, and then we can discuss them at a later day.
Perfect, that works.
Okay. Thank you so much for being present.
Thank you, guys.
All right, have a good day.
You too.
All right, so the first one.
She didn't even say ciao.
Right.
So this is lead custodian maintenance. Currently, that is Mike Chappelle. He does take his truck home, as I was been told that he's on duty 24/7.
Does it talk about that in there?
I don't think it specifically lists it. So what I did was I found the most recent information that I had. I shared it with Jesse, and I asked Jesse to review it. So you'll see that it says here approved date.
2017?
Correct. Jesse said that nothing has changed since that date.
Okay, so the last time we have reviewed the lead maintenance custodian job description was in 2017. Under the supervision of the Public Works Field Administrator. Okay, is the Public Works,
Field administrator is the official title of what Sean West was doing. We just have dropped really using the word field.
okay,
And also, since this document has been designed and updated, we've created an operations position for Jesse. So you'll notice that that is something that would need to be tweaked.
do we want to keep it at lead maintenance and custodian? I'm fine with that. If
yeah,
you guys are fine with that. All right, do we want to keep Public Works Field Administrator? Do we want to take out field? It doesn't matter.
I think while we're changing it, we should make it fit with what we're
I've
doing.
never called it a field administrator, so
Just make it the Public Works Administrator. myself.
take out lead or field out of Public Works Field Administrator. That's not really talking about maintenance, but Okay, the non-exempt position under the FLSA that performs skilled and semi-skilled maintenance work in the care of the courthouse and other county buildings. Work involves general upkeep on the building interiors, exterior entrances, lighting, plumbing, and electrical, keeps facilities in clean and orderly condition. Okay,
Okay.
any corrections on that? Directly supervises employees. How many employees does he have? Two?
Two.
Carries out supervisory responsibilities in accordance with the organization's policies and applicable laws. Responsibilities include interviewing, hiring, and training employees. Does he do that?
So if Jacqueline or Danny should leave, it would be his job to
Hire.
interview, and then
Okay.
he would give his recommendation to Jesse, and then Jesse would bring it to the commission.
Okay, responsibility, okay. And directing work, appraising performance, rewarding and disciplining employees, addressing complaints, and resolving problems. Marginal functions: keep buildings clean, keeping grounds neat, clean, grass mowed and trimmed. Okay, so are we mowing?
We have
Yep.
contracted mowing out.
So he doesn't mow anymore, right?
No, they don't know anymore.
Do we want to take out mowing the grass?
They
Or do they have a weed eater?
They do weed eat, they do edge the sidewalks and the driveways. So they still
So-
do some yard maintenance.
Let's change it to like keeping grounds neat, clean, and trimmed, and something with yard maintenance instead of.
Is he in charge of actually making sure that everything is getting mowed, or who watches over to verify that we are getting mowed? Yep, because we have the contractor doing it, but
Sure, that's an excellent question. I'm not sure if it's the public works admin or if it is the lead maintenance person, but I can
I
find
feel
out.
like
Or we can
he
assign
needs
it.
to be in charge of that. I think he needs to be the one. Like if we don't have our courthouse mowed and they didn't show up, that
that's what I'm saying.
he's the one dealing with that contract, not Jesse or Public Works. What are your thoughts, Jason?
I would agree that he would be reporting it to them.
Maybe not dealing with the contract, but at least being a verification that it is getting mowed
Correct.
and taken care of.
I'm fine with that. Certificates, licenses, and registrations. Actually, let's go back up to education. Sorry, I missed high school diploma or general education degree and up to 2 years related experience or training or equivalent combination of education and experience. Preferred, maybe? I mean, do we really? On the 2 years of experience preferred?
For being our lead.
I mean, this is a maintenance lead position.
is-
Oh, the lead, sorry.
So I would
No, I'm
say,
good with it. Keep it the way it
yeah,
is.
I would suggest leaving it.
Are there any certificates or licenses that he has to have? I don't know. of
A
any.
driver's license.
That's it.
As far as I know,
We
he's not dealing with
require-
any noxious weed or chemicals.
Ability to read and comprehend simple instructions, short correspondence and memos, ability to write correspondence, ability to add, subtract, multiply, and divide, ability to compute rate, ratio, and percent, ability to apply common sense and understanding to carry out detailed but uninvolved written and oral instructions, ability to deal with problems involving a few variables in standardized situations, physical demands. Does anybody have any corrections on the rest of this?
In regards to certificates, licenses, you could consider asking him to be, at minimum OSHA 10 compliant, since he'll be dealing with maintenance issues, equipment issues. If you wanted to consider that, if you wanted to make it specific as far as driver's license only.
Okay, and the only thing I feel like I'm missing on here would be the rate of pay that
adding rate of pay. We could add who he answers to, who his up chain is. I don't think that's listed.
Under the supervision of Public Works.
Okay, is that what it says? I'm sorry. Thank you.
So I guess this is just an example, but like
No.
when I go back and forth from like where we're at with this one versus like solid waste, the fonts and the type and everything, it's just different. It's not standard. Did we have something with, I thought you were looking with K Camp or K Works that we were going to look at how they did their job descriptions. Did we look into that at all?
So I played with it a little bit.
Yeah.
Essentially, you go in there and you pick some pre-decided job title, and it gives you a recommended briefing of that, and then you can tweak it as needed. So after you did that, you would be able to upload it with that font variable if you wanted to. So if you're wanting something to be just completely uniform in every sense, that's something that we can do. It'll take a little bit of time, but my office is fully staffed now, and I think we'll be able to manage that a little bit better.
I personally would like to see that uniform
Okay.
because I feel like we're jumping from one might say essential functions and then we go over here and it's, I don't know, it's just different.
And I would agree with that, and I think that's why my initial response was that we had HR kind of review these and then send them out to us to bring us in to see if we had any further changes that we saw from there.
You're thinking this isn't time well spent today. I can see that, honestly. I think it needs to happen.
I agree with you.
But I kind of feel like too,
We're going to read through each one of these in the open meeting.
yeah, it's gonna be a lot of work. I think that even her with what we have, what are your thoughts on like with what we even have, putting that in that new template and then having them all printed out and put them in some sort of a, I don't know, binder that we flip through and then like together. Or if I had the binder and we were like looking through it, like, hey, change that, and then like I just
That could be something we can put on our website as far as the job descriptions.
Right, but she's talking about us as we're going through them here.
I think we've also experienced like a lot of situations where we're not until we're in an actual job that we're hiring for that we're like, that needs to be changed
Right.
in the moment.
And that's why I think it would be important that we, when we're sending out for a job, that we do review and approve the job description before we send it out.
Okay, well, I have a suggestion. We're needing to hire for a public works administrator. That job description is in here. If you guys want to review that one, provide me with your tweaks, and then I can post it as soon as you guys agree that it looks okay. And then that'll give me an idea of what you're looking for moving forward. I would also like to say my office is HR along with so many other things. And with the high turnover and with new leadership, I would say things are falling into line a little bit better. So this is something that will be added to our to-do list.
Okay. And, I think that that was how I viewed it as well, knowing the roles and things that way, that it needed to be accomplished.
Sure,
we would give you the time needed to get that accomplished.
Right. I will say it's not in like the top 5 of my priority lists of things to do. That's, 100 things long, but I do understand the urgency of making sure that this is right and tight.
Okay, sorry
All right.
to ask you this, but on the job descriptions, I'm going into Pub Works, and then where would that? Oh, just the field administrator.
That's what I have pulled up. Is that
Okay. All right.
correct?
Let me share this tab. Okay, so
yes, this one is different as well.
So for this one, Would there be a way that you start the uniform process with like this particular job description? Like you start with the program that you're using?
I would think that would make sense.
Just this would be number one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And then,
So they're managing solid waste, noxious weeds, planning and zoning, floodplain management, transportation, elderly, codes enforcement, maintenance, custodians, sanitation and sewer.
well, the flow chart, do you have that pulled up too? Just want to make sure it's aligning with that, what we have on the flow chart. Let me pull it up. Sorry, there's so many things to click in SharePoint. I do not like how it is, how it runs at all. All right, so solid waste, maintenance. They have office manager under there. Is that on there? That's not on there. Noxious weed and planning and zoning.
And you'll see under office is nutrition and driver, which is the transportation and elderly.
Does Joyce not?
That should be taken off because Joyce is responsible
She's
for
responsible
that.
for the transportation and elderly now.
Well, that is correct, but everything she does flows up to that public works administrator. She doesn't have authority to make decisions. She's
Okay.
Right.
her authority is limited. I'm saying she does absolutely have authority. As far as the final say, I believe it flows up to that public works
Correct.
admin.
Correct. And if we scroll down to specifically duties will include, that's where it kind of details those out a little bit more.
Well, I don't see why codes enforcement. I guess maybe because I'm
Because
just
it
trying
falls
to
under,
identify the following Public Works Division shall include the following departments.
because we had that under planning and zoning.
Enforcement is not what I'm seeing as.
Sure, codes is an extension of planning and zoning.
I think that needs to come off.
Why?
I would have assumed that would have been under planning and zoning.
Right, but they are over that person, right?
I can combine it with planning and zoning, floodplain management, make it all one line. Is that what you would prefer instead of different bullet points? Is that what you mean, Allison?
I don't know. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna go into a different county.
Well, we don't have a dedicated employee that does codes enforcement. That is the planning and zoning person.
Yeah.
But also, even if it is the planning and zoning person, it's still an extension of the department that is overseen by Public Works Administrator.
Right.
So that's why it's listed this way.
Right.
And whether it's listed this way or not, it's still underneath the Public Works Admin.
Right. Okay, so we're gonna take out the field administrator. We're gonna take out field.
That is correct. So the job title will be Public Works Administrator.
Yes. Okay, and it's the PWOA is the Public Works Operations Administrator.
That is correct. That would be Jesse's position.
Okay,
But it is saying here supervise Jesse. And that is not how we have,
It in the flow chart.
that's not how,
Report to us.
correct. So that needs changed.
Yep.
So you would like that line to read, works closely with the PWOA, and I can spell that out for future people not to be confused with what that means.
Right.
To develop and maintain necessary forms and filing systems with Public Works Department.
Correct.
Next bullet point, would you like to leave that the same?
I think so.
For the next bullet point, maybe we could combine that with the first one when we're already saying working closely with them and saying including budgets. Budget development and management. Would that be okay? Or do you want to leave it a separate bullet?
So it's not, the way I'm reading that on that one is that it's not just the public works operator. It should be with all of his or hers different ones. They're going to work with all of those departments,
Okay,
right?
that's correct.
All budget information.
I just thought this is kind of off the top, but with you and K-Works or K-Camp, is it K-Works or K-Camp that you're working on the job descriptions there?
That is on K Camp.
K-Camp, okay. Did they not have a way like that we could submit what we have and have them, we pay a fee for them to just do this?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Because I mean, that's gonna be a huge undertaking for your office as well, and I'm just wondering, I mean, I'm looking.
Yeah,
at
for sure. And
companies,
that's probably why I
like
came.
HR companies.
And what I'm saying from that standpoint is, if we have them comparing what we have out there
Mhm.
and trying to mesh them together so that they're all similar, same type of things is what I was saying for their office. That we're using the same breakdowns throughout.
Well, what are your thoughts on her looking into like K-Camp and having them provide services?
I don't have an issue with it.
Well, this is just I mean, it needs to happen. Okay, I know that. That's why
Right.
we've been kind of talking about it for
Right.
a while. I think like once we dive into it, like, yeah, we could do one at a time and that could take forever. That could take years, to be honest.
And I will say Public Works is the largest department.
Yeah, it's a huge,
So that's,
One.
we're starting and prepared for
Yeah.
Public Works today.
which is probably important. Chastity, did you need to say something?
I didn't.
Oh, I don't even think we'll get through Public Works. I think we're going a different direction too, possibly. So,
Because I brought up the conversation about a truck, and there was discussion between Daniel and I about the marina, that sort of thing, so I didn't know if I needed to share anything with you.
I don't think we're gonna get to that, to be honest. But I think it needs to be updated. I just don't think that. I don't know. I feel like we're going a different direction maybe with Danielle today. Yeah, no, we'll call you in.
I'm behind watching the video, the thing, so we don't have to call
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you.
So this field administrator is an exempt position. It's a salary position.
Okay.
The expectation from prior Public Works admins is that it was on call and they were taking their vehicle home 24/7. So that specifically is not listed in here as far as FSLA.
So we need to update that.
Well, we need to update it if that's what it is, or if we are going a different direction, I guess we need to know that as well, so. Do we want to identify, I mean, obviously, that's the way it's always been with the truck for Public Works.
That's correct. It makes the most sense if they're on duty 24/7. They can go from their home to the emergency site instead of coming here, picking up a work truck and then going to the emergency site.
I agree.
So have her add that in there on this one, okay.
Yep.
Add the rate of pay, make sure it's comparable, and we agree on what that needs to be in the matrix. Do we want to look at that before we send her off to post this, or you want to talk about next week?
I do have a document to share with you. I'm sorry I didn't put it up in there just yet. Oh, let me find it. Maybe let me work on this.
Have we posted this job yet?
No, we have not.
That's why we're looking at this one.
I just thought we had already posted it, to be honest. I thought we talked about that. But it's totally fine. I just, because we posted the planning and zoning, right?
That is correct. That one was, recently redone. So for Public Works Administrator, I looked at 6 counties, similar in population to ours in the state of Kansas. Let me hide a few of these things so I can share it with you.
Are you putting that on email?
No, I can.
I just didn't know where to look.
See. Do you want me to steal the screen from you?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Right, so what I'm seeing is Linn County has a salary base of 72,000 for Public Works. Coffee County is similar in population and their salary is 87,000. Pratt County.
Are you sharing?
Oh, sorry. No.
I'm sorry. Do I need to?
Yeah, I need the code.
I don't even know how to. So.
Okay. But what do they have as far as benefits as well? Are they
Yeah,
on
correct.
par with our benefits package? Because I think if we're talking about it, it should be based off our full package.
Sure. What I do know is this is what the other clerks have posted on our all clerks page as far as what the wage is.
Okay.
David Lamb updated this for Linn County. So that I think would be the best option I would know as far as what we're posting. Do you know what I pushed on the screen? Here, here we go. Sorry. I have to stay share. So for these are the counties that are similar in population. You'll see the population here. This is the district. So I did find a couple other counties in our district. I guess just one. Coffee County is similar to ours. So you'll see the county in yellow and the Public Works / Road and Bridge, what they are paying their their people. So it's just a matter of what they call their department.
Would they be doing public works and road and bridge
Mhm.
all together? Not just public works.
That I can't say.
Okay, so but in our job description, we have things that tie them to road and bridge.
Mhm.
The name of it, it's just, yeah.
And I do have this information for a lot of the major department heads. Elected officials.
That's good information to have.
For what's important for this conversation, I was just hiding these columns. So we're not overwhelmed with information. Oops, I did the wrong one. And I can upload this to the SharePoint so you can explore, the other counties.
That would be good.
This is filtered, as you can tell here. It's filtered by population. But all the Kansas counties are on this spreadsheet.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had Kathy Biggerstaff assist me with kind of normalizing the data and then putting it on one spreadsheet.
Well, I don't feel like we're
That far out.
out of line. I just think
Oh, Linn County's purple.
I would be interested to know like if what the duties are for that job description for the
Sure.
other counties.
If you could give me maybe just 1 or 2 or 3 counties to reach out to, I could do that. Reaching out to 6 or 104 would
Right.
be kind of overwhelming.
Coffee, because they're closer.
Coffee, yep, they're in our southeast district. Yeah, Kingman is far, but their population is very similar to ours.
Yeah. Let's look at those two. That gives us kind of a spectrum, one on each kind of end as
Sure.
well. The high and the low.
Coffee County has a community college. I don't think Kingman does. I could be wrong.
Right. Coffee as a community college.
I believe they do.
What's that?
Coffee as a community college?
I don't think Coffee does.
Okay.
do they?
I
All
don't
right,
think
I'm
so.
sorry, I misspoke.
I don't think so. Kingman wouldn't have it. I know Pratt would have.
Yes, I was thinking of Coffeeville.
Cloud County would have a community college.
Montgomery County,
Marshall, I don't know. Where's Marshall?
Northeast.
Where's that?
Closer to Hayes, maybe then.
Northeast, so it'd be
Nemaw.
Leavenworth, Nemaw.
Nemaw, one of the northeast. I think there's 2 right up there. Nemaw.
Oh, I was in the west. Just kidding.
It might be Marshall, the other one there.
Okay. Okay, so, if we post it at our current rate, we could always update it as information came in to change it so that we're,
Based off of
I
our
think that's what we need to do. I think we
applicants.
need to get it out there. I thought
Based it off our applicants too. I mean, see what,
no, I agree with that as
I think
well.
we should post it. I think we should get it posted.
I didn't know that was I'm sorry. We missed something.
Really?
No way.
Yeah, it's not all on you, Ally.
So me.
I know.
So on our pay scale, we have Public Works Admin starting at, sorry, I'm looking at it now. Public Works Admin, 16C, which is 31.66 an hour. Did I say 16C?
Yep.
That's weird. I don't know why I said that.
That
I
not
think I
right?
was in column C. I don't know. Sorry, 16A.
Okay.
I apologize. 31.66 is the correct hourly rate.
Okay.
Annualized, that looks like 65,853. It's for 16A.
Okay.
I'm good with leaving it there for now. If you guys are.
I am.
Till we see. Yeah.
So when we post that on the job description, are we legally required to put the rate of pay scale on there, or is that just something other counties do?
That's an excellent question. In my experience, I've not seen that be a standard for posting job descriptions, but I can look into the legality of what that is for sure. I'm sorry, I don't have the answer.
Oh, no, it's okay. I just thought, I think Rose and I had talked about that one point.
Okay.
We were gonna look into it, but.
And Jacqueline might know the answer.
Yeah. Okay, so moving forward, was there anything on this job description that you want to alter? Just regarding public works, do you have anything else?
I'm not
The
seeing.
truck, you've got a few things noted there, right?
Mm-hmm. So we are saying qualified means graduated from an accredited college with a bachelor's degree.
Right.
So we're preferring this person has a bachelor. No, not preferring, requiring. Background check, driver's license. Anyone that is allowed to drive our company vehicles is subject to random UA testing.
Okay.
Our handbook says anyone that's driving our vehicles, not just any employee, but specifically our handbook says if you're driving our vehicles, then you're subject.
I'm okay with adding that.
And anyone with a CDL is required by law to be randomly tested, which that does happen.
And it doesn't say anything about, reporting on Monday mornings to the commission. It doesn't say anything about that. You guys want to update what they normally do, or just let it be?
I think we leave that as is.
Myself, I think we just need to leave that and determine how we want to do it. I mean, if it's,
What it does say is have the ability to deal effectively and cooperatively with councils, commission, boards, and other department agencies.
Right.
And the general public.
Undertake whatever assignments
Mm-hmm.
the county commission may require.
right. So that's going to be change. That'll change from commission to commission.
Correct. I don't have any other changes.
I think I'm good on that one. Just transportation and elderly. Oh, no. It was codes enforcement going up with the floodplain management. Perfect. As a bullet.
Yep, I did say move codes to that same bullet.
Okay.
Well, where it says transportation and elderly, wouldn't we want to put, like, if we're going by the workflow chart, that would have been office management, because he has Joyce under there, and then under Joyce would be transportation and elderly.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like how we have the planning and zoning. So we have. Does that make sense?
It does.
Sure.
Well, he's not actually in charge of it there, but he oversees the
Right.
supervision, the
Like,
supervisor.
when I look at this, to me, that shows me that transportation and elderly is really under him, and ultimately, it's kind of under the office manager.
Yeah.
And then-
You got the Solid waste to do that. Yeah. Well, he oversees it. I mean, it wouldn't be any different than the noxious weeds or anything. I mean, he's basically overseeing the department.
Correct.
Yeah, but the department isn't transportation and other department would be office manager, right? I don't know if that makes sense. Saying.
Well, the solid waste, it would be any different than the solid waste. I mean, he isn't over. He's over the supervision of the solid waste as far as the supervisor.
I think
we're just splitting hairs.
I think we ought to. I think we just leave it.
Let me, that's fine.
Jacqueline did provide me with a connection that she had at, I apologize, it's either K-State or KU, where they have that Public Works Administrator bachelor's degree. There's like a job posting board for those positions. So as soon as we get this finalized, I can send that on over and have them post this job as well.
Good. Okay.
Gonna widen our pool here.
Graduation right around the corner.
Yeah, kids looking for jobs.
Yep. What else?
I think that we need to have her just come back next week with, if we can do it through KCAM.
Okay, I'm good with that.
And
Okay.
outsource it.
Yep.
We don't have time for this. So.
Okay.
Or maybe the experience. So.
Good. Good with that?
I am, yes.
Okay.
And we'll get this posted.
Yeah, and once she gets this one updated with that, you guys, we're good with that? Run it, okay.
Yes.
I don't have anything else on the thing.
You have anything, Jason?
I don't.
You?
I'll be out Tuesday through Friday going to the annual clerks conference in Mulvane, Kansas. So I'll be available through email and text, but I won't be in
Yeah,
office.
down at the casino.
It is. Apparently that's all that's there. My husband already told me I'm not allowed to.
Not much else there, but it's casino. I'll make a motion with adjourn.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.